talk to me about the mental and both physical benefits to doing something like this.
Yeah, those float tanks are great because they really get the body-mind connection. So when you go into the float tank, what happens after not too long at all is actually your cortisol levels start to drop. Oftentimes they say by about 20 to 30%. And your brain oftentimes will go into theta waves. So we call it like the lazy man's meditation because we get theta waves sometimes after really deep meditation.
I did confess that he had asked me, did you where did your mind take you? And at one point it took me to the Bob Ross painting by numbers guy. And I don't know why, but he said that's not unusual that things just pop up in your head. To be fair, as a child, I sat in front of PBS. I'm old enough to have had the Bob Ross relaxing, soothing sort of experience.
Yeah, that's so great. In fact, I suggest after the float tanks, if people bring, say, a notebook and a pen with them, so you journal about what you experienced. People want to sometimes do it in their phone, but you don't want to break the digital detox. So if you bring in a pen and paper and write those memories down, that can be stimulating.
Now, the decompression of my spine, the actual physical attributes, I was just telling you off air, my body went through some cramps early on, and then I felt like my body was finding a pressure point and actually released it. It felt great when I got out.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's almost like, say, the Dead Sea, right? Because in those float tanks, they have 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts or something. So it's giving you this rush of magnesium, which is really good for muscles. It decompresses your spine, which is what happens when you go to sleep overnight. So in 1 hour, it's like getting the full benefit of a night's sleep for your muscles and your spine.
I would never have thought to go to a sensory deprivation tank and float for hours in an egg, but for the fact that Fox is choosing to do this Wellness Week. And when you put together, you've been on our air talking about some of the other attributes. When you look at what the country is doing, leaning in to these things, how important is that?
Oh, well, it's super important. I mean, we do have a lot of stressors, and so that's another benefit with these tanks is that obviously nobody's going to be pinging you on your phone, and then you're also not going to have the temptation to be using your phone either. So taking a total wellness break, and those float tanks are a great shortcut to do that. It's so good for you.
You have a book out, by the way. Can I say that, about free speech on health issues?
It's the mental health benefits of free speech, of speaking your mind. It's called Can I Say That? Why free speech matters and how to use it fearlessly.
Dr. Chloe Carmichael, thanks for being here.
Thank you.